Welcome back to Mars Bargain Basement. So I decided to put a list together of the top 10 items that I try to stay away from when I go out sourcing. Now this top 10 list is something that I put together recently. I haven't used it in the past, but moving forward, I've decided that these are the top 10 items that I will avoid when I go out sourcing. So let's go ahead and get started. So number 10, and Robert from Rubber Resellers, this is no offense to you. I will be staying away from books. Yes, I have purchased a few books in the past. I know that you say that you need to get out of your comfort zone, but books are just not it for me. I purchased a few books, a couple have sold, and I've made some decent profit, but it's just not it for me. The books just sit there on my shelf. They take up space. I like doing quick flips, and it gives me a lot of stress just seeing the books on my shelf sitting there. So I will start staying away from books. Or I might turn into one of those guys that have my phone out and start doing the UPC code in every single book and seeing what the comps are before I buy it. So it would be one of the two. I either won't buy or I'll be sitting there with my phone beeping, 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 checking every single book that I come across. All right, number 9 is picture frames. There are a lot of beautiful picture frames out there. I've checked comps on eBay. They just don't have a lot of resale value. I know some are real quirky and cute, but unfortunately, reselling them on eBay is not it. There is zero profit to be made. Number 8, and Rebel from Rebel Resellers, Robert's wife. This is not to offend you, but stuffed animals. Stuffed animals are not my thing either. I know both of you try to say get out of your comfort zone. I've gotten out of my comfort zone and I've tried a few things and neither of them have worked, and I will try a couple other items, but yeah, stuffed animals are just not my thing. My bread and butter is electronics. That's what I know best. So I try to stick with electronics. They sell really great for me. But stuffed animals are just not it. And I'm very sorry, and I hope I did not offend you, Rebel or Robert. So number 7, ties. I like ties. I had to wear ties a long time ago for a business that I work for, and I enjoy ties. Unfortunately, ties are not the thing these days. It's more casual wear. It's more business casual, if you will, and ties just aren't being purchased. I have a large amount of ties in my possession. I put them on eBay, and the views are very minimal. You know, most of them are 0. I do have 1 or 2, but for the most part, most of my ties are showing at 0 views. Number 6 on the list is glassware from the 2000s, newer glassware. I've noticed that items from the 70s and 80s seem to be selling, but glassware that's current for some reason is not. So I will start looking for glassware from that time frame. Number 5, I know I'm going to get a lot of hypocrite comments from what I'm about ready to say, but stay away from large and bulky items. With the prices going up for postage, it's crazy that now some of my items that I'm selling, the cost of shipping is almost the same cost as selling the item. So I've gotten a few messages back from buyers saying, why is shipping so much? And the only explanation is that the item weighs what it does, and when you weigh it and you package it and you put all of the packing materials together, it comes out to some absurd amount of money for shipping. I have tried to find cheaper methods and they're just not out there. So for me, large bulky items just are not it. When I sell the last couple of large items that I have, I think that's going to be it for me. I'm going to try to stay under 2 pounds for all my items so I can ship them out and not have to have the customer pay such large shipping prices. Number 4, on my list are sports video games. I acquired a bunch of video games recently, and they were all sports. So I was speaking to one of my friends, Charles, over at R&D Games in Weber City, and we were discussing video games and what resells and what doesn't. And he was telling me that sports video games are probably the hardest items that he has to try to sell in his store. Other video games sell. It's just the sport ones that start selling for whatever reason, and he would know because he has a video game store and he sells a lot of video games. He just can't sell anything apparently in sports related genre. For number 3, DVDs and CDs. If you saw my last video, you saw my whole explanation on CDs and bootleg / counterfeit and how I was somewhat taken over in regards to purchasing some CDs. So my experience with DVDs is what's happening is when I send a DVD off, it seems like it never fails. Within a week, I get a return request. It's all scratched up. I know when I sent it, it wasn't scratched. But when they ship it back, all of a sudden there are scratches all over it. It does not even look like the DVD that I sent them, and more than likely it's probably not. With eBay, if you try to dispute it, it turns out to where they will actually stick pretty much with the buyer and not the seller, and that creates problems. And the last thing that you want on your account is negative from eBay. So I will be staying away from those items. It's just not worth it to send an item out and get something back, and then there's nothing you can do. You're at a loss. For me personally, it's not something that I want to continue dealing with, and I'm just going to move away from DVDs and CDs. Next on my list at number 2, collectibles. Again, past couple of weeks, out of my comfort zone. I bought some collectible plates. I bought some precious memories, and they are just setting there. I'm not exactly sure how much longer I'm going to have them set out there before I do something with them, but at the current moment, they're just setting. I can't drop the price anymore without losing money, so I can't do that to get them to move. I'm just really not sure what's going on with collectibles. I know some do sell, but for the ones that I picked up, it's just not working for me. Last but not least are dolls. Yes, I still have the infamous Jennifer doll, and no views. No one who has viewed this particular item. I've actually unlisted it, and I'm probably going to take this item to Goodwill or to another donation. Yes, I am getting rid of you today. So this doll will no longer be in my possession, and all I can say is thank goodness for that. And I will definitely make sure not to purchase any more dolls from this point forward. If you like videos like this and you want to see more, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.